Hey there, I'm Kevin Downey, and I run an agency called Kevin M. Downey, where we help B2B companies with their sales and marketing efforts. You can visit our website at kevinmdowney.com. Okay, today's topic, rethinking business development for B2B sales teams in 2025 and beyond. It is no secret. Obviously, we talked about this in previous videos, and I was on a couple of podcasts where this is a topic. Business development getting harder for sales reps in B2B, account executives and account managers getting very frustrated, especially those without a big book of business built, frustrated with their cold outreach efforts, not getting to decision makers enough, not generating enough leads for themselves. It's taking too long for them to generate leads. They're getting frustrated. And of course, in some cases, they're not making the calls because they have gotten so frustrated with getting to decision makers at their prospects, right? So how do we want to attack this? Think about this going forward in B2B environment, right? So first step, always remember that your business development system, your sales and business development system, your prospecting starts with the number of contacts that you have to go after when you build a prospect list. So whether you're local, you're regional, or you're nationwide, you go in and let's say we use Apollo, we put a lot of clients on Apollo, we build that prospect list, we start there, right? So if, as I've talked about before, if you have a good sized prospect list, a number of contacts that exceeds tens of thousands, right? Email, high-powered automated email needs to be part of the anchor of your business development process and system. Okay, so tens of thousands or more, certainly 100,000 or more, and we need to lean on email to be an important part of our business development process. Okay, if we do not have tens of thousands at least, at a bare minimum, then you got to think about it as purely a manual process. So now it's purely sales or business development reps doing cold outreach to generate leads or appointments for sales, and that's it. High-powered automated email is not going to work when you're dealing with lower numbers of contacts to go after. So that's the first thing to think about. All right. Now, setting email aside, how do we think about our sales team structure going forward, whether we're using email or not? Okay. So the first thing we want to look at is our sales team. Are they booked with customers? Do they have a full book of business? Do they have a full or do they have a full schedule or calendar of appointments with decision makers that have some level of pain point? Okay. If they do, and your numbers are good on the reps, your ROI is okay, then they're keepers, right? If, however, you have sales team members that do not have a full book of business and or combined with their existing customer base and what they're dealing with day to day, combined with that, do they have an open calendar? Do they have too much time that they are utilizing to do cold outreach, or they're not doing it at all, and they're not generating enough leads or appointments for themselves? Okay, so what do we do in this scenario? So there's a couple steps you can take. First step is, let's say we work with them, at our agency with our business development leader program, or internally you do it. You've got to build them a business development process, a system, if you will, and lean on them that they have to make their calls, whatever those numbers need to be, whether it's a day a week, whether it's an hour a day, or it's every day. As long as they are not dealing with customers, they need to be doing cold outreach, and you need to hold them to task. They must do that. So as part of our business development leader program, we incorporate a reporting mechanism that the reps must use to fill out at the end of every day. It takes them 2 minutes. And then we track those numbers on a day-to-day basis. And what we're looking for is purely effort. We're looking for numbers. If they do the numbers, if they make the calls, they will be successful. The problem in most B2B sales teams is that those that do not have a decent sized book of business, they're not making the calls. They are not making enough calls. They always have something else going on. They've got this customer or that customer here and there that's taking up their time, and then they fiddle around with this or that. They must have dedicated time that they are committed to doing cold outreach. And if they don't have many customers, that needs to be almost all day, every day, okay? And you must hold them to task on that. That is crucial and important, okay? If they're not making the calls, right, At the end of the day, if you put them to task on this and they're not making the calls and they don't have the customer base, then we're looking at sales team contraction. We're looking at reducing the number of salespeople, right? Getting rid of those that aren't going to make the calls, and we have to replace them with business development efforts, dedicated business development efforts. So that can be email combined with dedicated business development or sales development representatives who are doing nothing but helping generate leads and appointments for sales. And sometimes it can be as simple as when we've got clients who are going after mid-market and enterprise companies and big departments, sometimes the business development side is doing nothing but identifying decision maker so that we can hand off that person to our sales team and they can accelerate or expedite their process. They're not spending hours and hours and hours fishing around trying to figure out who the right contact is. Business development and email is doing that for them, right? And that'll help accelerate their expedite their sales cycle a lot. Okay, so that's one thing you can think about doing. When we talk about generating leads and appointments for sales, right, we want to be looking at, again, email if your prospect list is big enough, but combined with email, inbound leads are coming in. Let's say you have sales or business development representatives handling those inbound emails to qualify those leads and then scheduling them for appointments for sales. You should have dedicated your sales or your business development reps should be doing dedicated cold outreach, just like I said with sales, on a day-to-day basis to generate more leads and appointments. And if sales isn't going to do it, let's get rid of the reps that won't do it, and let's get business development reps that's all they do day after day after day. You can recruit reps in the United States, local in your office. You can go remote. You can even go remote Latin America if salary is something you need to be concerned about. Okay, so those are the kinds of things that we want to address here in 2025. We've got to get more decision makers identified at prospects, generate more leads and appointments for sales, and if sales reps are going to be responsible for generating their own leads and appointments, we need to hold them to task. We need to build them a process and a system that they can implement that if they do their job, if they make the effort, they will be successful. Right? And then if they don't do their job, they got to go. And we're going to replace them with somebody else, maybe another sales rep. Again, maybe business development team, dedicated business development reps, maybe email on top of that. Okay, so that's how we want to be thinking about things in 2025. If you need any help, you have any questions, reach out to us, kevinmdowney.com. Thanks for being here, guys. Really appreciate it. Hope this helps. And best of luck in business this year in 2025.